What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's dive into Monday Night Raw from April the 1st, 2024. The go-home edition of Monday Night Raw for this weekend's WrestleMania 40. The show overall was solid because of the Bloodline. They held it down. Everything else on the show was to okay. Some stuff I could have done without. So we kicked the show off with The Rock, who cut a very lengthy promo. I forgot to mention that the first hour of Monday Night Raw was commercial free. So this was a long, drawn-out promo. This whole thing that occurred between The Rock, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins, this lasted 34 minutes. This thing was long. So I'm not going to go over the entire thing. I'm just going to summarize what Rock said. So, Rock basically comes out, he gets on the mic, and he reiterates what he did last week. Said that he made that boy bleed. He said he kept his word. He's a man of his word. He said the only thing that was missing from that belt were the tears of Mama Rhodes. The Rock then gloated about what he did last week, basically. Then there were some videos that were shown of children crying, little girls crying about what happened to Cody Rhodes. So The Rock smirks. He said that he is a proud dad of 3 girls. He told their mommies and daddies he told their parents to put the kids in front of the TV set. Uncle Rock's going to drop some gospel. Rock says there's moments in life when a man has to do what a man has to do. There are moments in life when people talk shit that shouldn't talk shit. The Rock had to beat that punk ass down over and over again. Pause. So then The Rock says that pro wrestling is cool. The ratings have skyrocketed because of The Rock. Tonight, they set a record for the largest domestic gate in the history of WWE Raw. So then The Rock congratulates the crowd. This is the 13th consecutive televised segment. One reason why we're 5 days from WrestleMania. The Rock then says the final boss has come back to Brooklyn. He said he didn't come alone. Roman comes out, and he gets on the mic. The crowd can't yeet. Roman says there's going to be no yeet. He says if they keep doing that, he's going to leave. He said he apologizes to The Rock for the idiots because they're distracting him. Roman is trying to put his family over and tells the crowd to shut their mouths. Roman wants to thank his cousin because this is going to be the easiest WrestleMania of his life. Tag match to determine the stipulation for Sunday night. They're going to smash these fools. Then it's Bloodline rules on Sunday, and they'll have their way with Cody Rhodes. Roman then thanks The Rock, and he acknowledges that he went above and beyond like he normally does. He made Cody Rhodes bleed. He whooped him. Roman said he didn't need him to do it, but it felt good to see him do it. For that, Roman Reigns thanks The Rock again. The Rock puts his family above all, as does Roman. That's how you lead. Cody Rhodes isn't fit to wear these shoes. He's a politician. When they started making this thing cool again in 2020, he was somewhere else doing nothing, referencing AEW. Cody Rhodes thought he wanted to be involved in what the tribal chief was doing. They let him play around, but he can't take him off the mountaintop. This is their mountain. And on Sunday, it won't be more crystal clear. Seth Rollins comes out. He does the old little shield entrance. Rollins said if he thinks the idiots in the ring think he's going to walk into that ambush after what they did to Cody Rhodes, they're stupider than he thought. If they want to do that to him, they've got to do it to him and the entire city of Brooklyn. Last week, they crossed the line. The time for talking is over. Rollins is looking for a fight. He said he just isn't talking about 5 days from WrestleMania. Seth Rollins wants to fight tonight. With 5 days from WrestleMania, it's the biggest WrestleMania of all time. here in Brooklyn, the biggest Monday Night Raw of all time. Brooklyn deserves the biggest main event of all time. Then Seth responds by saying, says that Rock and Roman think these people are here because of all of them. Want to put the money where their mouth is. It's not the main event. Is Seth Rollins versus The Rock. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns if The Rock's not up for it. And then Seth Rollins just taunts him and says, who's got the balls? So the crowd pops massively for all this while Rollins says this. Then The Rock calls Seth Rollins a punk. And then Rock then continues on by saying Seth Rollins is just challenged the most dominant champion in the history of WWE and the final boss. The Rock beats Seth Rollins' partner so badly that Rollins doesn't want any of them tonight or isn't fighting them, but they always have a plan. Solo Sikoa gets on the mic. Solo says Rollins isn't fighting the tribal chief or the final boss tonight. Rollins is going to fight Solo Sikoa tonight. And then Seth Rollins says that Solo Sikoa has the biggest balls in the Bloodline and accepts the challenge. And then The Rock says it'll be Bloodline rules. So this is fine. It actually makes sense. Why would anybody think that Seth Rollins is going to face Roman or Rock, especially on a random episode of Monday Night Raw, even though it's the go-home show to WrestleMania still? Why would anybody think that would even happen or occur? This is fine. It actually does make sense, so it's perfect, but it is what it is. Pretty good shit to start to start the show off. To me, the promo was a little bit too damn long, though. We could have really done all this in about 15 minutes, if we're being honest. Let's just be real. I think 34 minutes is a little bit too damn long for a few promos, but that's me. That's just how I feel about the whole thing. But all in all, pretty good way to start off the show. Moving on. So, Becky Lynch, she shows up and gets into a confrontation with Ripley. She shows up on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani. So, she taunts Rhea, and they're about to come to blows, but security separates them. It was kind of cringe. It is what it is. I know people aren't really invested in it, in the match because of what Rhea said, but she had to go there, because, like I say, if you pay attention to last week, Becky was almost in tears. So that actually, made sense, and actually added much needed heat to the feud, if we're being honest. So this is fine. I like stuff like this. Moving on. So Kathy Kelly is backstage with Becky Lynch. Kathy Kelly talks about what happened earlier on today. Becky Lynch says she should have finished what she started, and she'll be in the ring later on tonight if Rhea wants to answer the call. Okay, that's fine. Moving on, first match of the night. It was an 8-man tag, which I didn't give a single fuck about. The New Day in DIY versus the Judgment Day. Damian Priest, Jenny McDonough, Dirty Dom, and Finn Balor. And I didn't give a single fuck. So basically, Damian Priest gets the win via the Razor's Edge. Who gives a shit? Fuck all this shit. Moving on. So, Solo Sikoa, he's looking focused backstage. So, Roman Reigns, The Rock, and Paul Heyman and Solo, they're ready. Roman said he's going to get out of here and write that speech. The Rock confirms it's for Paul Heyman. Roman and The Rock shake hands. Paul Heyman confirms for everyone that Roman Reigns will be inducting him to the Hall of Fame on Friday after SmackDown, and then Paul Heyman kisses the hand of Rock, and then he walks off. And he says, "Thank you, my final boss." So that was pretty interesting. That's fine. Pretty good shit there. Moving on. So we get a video package of Sami Zayn. He's working out with Chad Gable at the Performance Center earlier on in the day. Chad Gable worked out with Sami Zayn to the max before making him tap out after a surprise attack. He didn't mean to really do it. He just wanted to motivate Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's furious with him and asks what was that all about. So Chad Gable then says Gunther isn't going to care that Sami Zayn is exhausted. Chad Gable says Sami Zayn is good, but is good enough, but he needs to find his hunger. What's holding Sami Zayn back? Sami Zayn shouts that he's afraid of letting people down, as well as himself. Sami Zayn doesn't want to see the disappointment on his wife's face again. Gable understands what he's saying. Chad Gable tells Sami Zayn what he needs to hear. Sami Zayn has to find the hunger and prove the doubters wrong. Sami Zayn nodded at him and worked even harder. This time, Sami Zayn thwarted an attack by Chad Gable, and then they shook hands. So this was interesting. I really enjoyed this. They're still doing the Rocky type story with this. This is fine. And I do think that Sami Zayn is going to be the one to dethrone Gunther on, is it Saturday or Sunday? I think it's Saturday. That it'll be Gunther versus Sami Zayn. I mean, it's fine. I just wish that Chad Gable was in this situation, but it makes sense nonetheless if we're being honest. Moving on. So, Rhea, she's thrilled that her stablemate performed moments ago. I mean, my bad. So we go to the Judgment Day Clubhouse. So Rhea is thrilled with her stablemate's performance that happened moments ago against New Day and DIY. So then, in come Legado del Fantasma, which is Santos Escobar, Humberto Carrillo, Angel Garza, Electra Lopez. They all show up. So Damian Priest takes Dominic Mysterio aside and says that Dom didn't know, and says that Dominic didn't know there would be visitors. He's got to cut the crap. Rhea's not happy. So, more Judgment Day dissension. We need to break Judgment Day up ASAP. I'm serious. Enough is enough is enough. This is a dead, boring faction. This thing has been going on for over a year and a half now, almost 2 years now. Enough is enough, all right? I like Dom. Finn is fine. Damian Priest is fine. JD McDonough is okay, I guess. He would be better off in NXT 2.0, or he would be better off being back down in NXT, if we're being honest. But cut the shit with this Judgment Day bullshit. We got to move on from it. Moving on. So, Sami Zayn, he defeated Bronson Reed. And then post-match, Gunther beats the shit out of Sami Zayn. So he shows up on the stage. He chops Sami Zayn a couple times. Sami Zayn tries to stand up. He can't. And then Gunther comes back again. He hits him. Then he chops him again. Tells him to stop dreaming. And then Gunther, he just holds up the Intercontinental Championship, and he puts his foot on Sami Zayn's chest. So then Gunther proceeds to hit Sami Zayn in the skull with the Intercontinental Championship, which is fine. So this actually makes sense to me. I don't know why people think that Sami Zayn's not going to win come Saturday. He is. Like, why wouldn't he? Again, you could put Gunther higher on the card. You could easily have him be WWE World Heavyweight Champion, which they probably will do sometime next year, not this year, but definitely they could continue to build him up. He doesn't need the IC title anymore. He's long past that. It's time for him to be the main event guy. He can definitely be the main event guy for Raw, for sure, but for SmackDown, hell no. But for Raw, absolutely. Moving on. So, Jey Uso, he's backstage. He runs into Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne said that he's going to be in Philadelphia, and he's going to release his newest single. Okay, cool. Not really all that important. Yeezy, he's alright. I mean, I don't really give a shit. You know. Moving on. So, it's been confirmed that Roman's going to induct Paul Heyman, and The Rock is going to induct his grandmother. So, that's going to be great. The Hall of Fame is going to be must-see, that's for sure. So, I can't wait for that. It should be solid. And it should have some storyline implications involved, if we're being honest. Moving on. So, Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree, they defeat Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. I don't give a single shit about this because they have not followed up with what happened a couple weeks back with Candice LeRae saying to Maxine Dupree that her brother is dead, and she broke down crying. So I don't understand why they went that personal, and they've done nothing since then. So I don't really give a shit about this. Moving on. So Roman Reigns and The Rock, they're going to be on the Tonight Show on Wednesday with Jimmy Fallon, so that should be interesting. Should be interesting. Also, Roman Reigns said on the documentary if he loses to Cody Rhodes on Sunday, he's going to go away for a while. So that's basically WWE basically telling you, hey, look, come Sunday, Roman's losing. And I don't understand why people think that Cody is not going to finish his story come Sunday. Like, that's common sense. Like, he's going to finish it. Come on now. They've given so much sympathy towards his character for the last 2 weeks. Like, how could he not finish the story? Moving on. So, Seth Rollins, he's getting ready for his match with Solo Sikoa later on in the night for the main event. So, Jay comes up. He says that he has Seth Rollins' back. And Seth Rollins says he's got his back. Okay, that's fine. Moving on. So, Drew McIntyre, he's all dressed up. We got a nice little vignette. And he's in front of a casket. He closes the lid. McIntyre says that CM Punk won't have a match in Philly on January 27th. The world lost the opportunity to see an out-of-shape has-been main event at WrestleMania. Main event WrestleMania. CM Punk's bodies felt him worse than it did in the UFC. Punk's tricep, like everyone else, wanted to be far away from him, and now we're left with a thick-skinned man who saw Jared Leto as the Joker, and built a personality around it. Seth Rollins deserves all the pain and suffering because he begged McIntyre for it, and at WrestleMania, he'll take that old broken-down horse behind the back and put him down once and for all. This was tremendous. I fucking love this shit. This was solid. I love this. This is great. McIntyre needs to win on Sunday. He needs to win. He's got to win. You got to pull the trigger. You got to pull the trigger. Got to. Moving on. So, Ricochet defeated Ivar. Towards the end of the match, he was able to hit a follow-away slam, which was great. I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. So, Ricochet wins with a 630. All right, cool. Who gives a damn? Moving on. So, Legado and Fantasma, they're still in the Judgment Day Clubhouse. Damian Priest is not happy with the result of Ricochet's match and asked Dirty Dom why he hasn't handled Ricochet yet. Dominic says that he has the guy, and then Andrade walks in. So, Dom offers Andrade to make him a full member of the Judgment Day if he can take care of Ricochet. The rest of the Judgment Day are shocked at Dom's audacity. Rhea walks off and says that Becky Lynch is heading to the ring. So this is fine. It makes sense. Moving on, I guess. So Becky Lynch comes out. She does her usual stick. The man's come out to Brooklyn. She's looking for a fight. She tried to start one earlier, and she didn't want to wait to WrestleMania to finish it. She's done talking. So Adam Pearce comes out. He tries to calm everyone down. He said it's not gonna happen. Becky's not gonna jeopardize one of the biggest matches for WrestleMania of all time. And then so Rhea comes out. Adam Pearce tells her to save it for WrestleMania, and then Rhea attacks security, and then her and Becky Lynch to have a brawl, and security eventually break it up. So Becky Lynch did a plunger onto Rhea, so that was pretty cool. All right, that's fine. Moving on. So Damage Control, they're backstage for whatever reason. Dakota Kai says Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Bayley, they all can have their moment from Friday, but they're the most dominant women in WWE. Damage Control is the future. Okay, who gives a fuck? Moving on. So Clash at the Castle. It's going to return. It's going to be in June. That's cool. So then we get Damage Control. Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane and Asuka, the Kabuki Warriors. They defeated Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler, and Tegan Nox. Didn't give one single fuck about this match. And then moving on. So Kathy Kelly, she's backstage with Seth Rollins. She asks, why is he having this match against Solo so close to WrestleMania? Seth Rollins says he has one setting, and that is walking. And that is to completely empty the tank. Seth Rollins keeps walking and walks to Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins says he's not dead yet. Drew McIntyre didn't shout yet, and then Rollins makes his entrance. So that's all right. So let's get this into the main event. Bloodline rules. Seth Rollins versus Solo Sikoa. It was a no contest. There were tables involved. So towards the end of the match, Seth Rollins did a powerbomb through the table on Solo, and he was about to go into the stomp. And then Jimmy Uso comes down. He super kicks Seth Rollins. Him and Jay, they have a little brawl. And then The Rock actually comes in. He beats the shit out of Jay. And then Roman comes down, and The Rock and Roman, they beat down Seth Rollins for a second. Cody Rhodes comes back. He's selling his injuries from last week to a big pop. He gets a little bit of comeback on The Rock, but then Roman gets into play. And then Roman spears Cody. Rock and Roman then beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins with Cody Rhodes' weight belt, which was great. And The Rock just started talking shit to Cody, standing with Roman Reigns, and the Bloodline, they stand tall. And that's how we go off the air. So this is fine. This actually makes perfect sense. I'm down for this. I'm super excited for WrestleMania 40. I'm excited for the tag match. It should be wild. Who's going to take most of the bumps, though, in the match? That's the thing I'm wondering about. And this shouldn't be too long. This doesn't need to be no more than about, I'd say, 10 to 15 minutes. Because I'm very interested in seeing how they're going to do the finish and everything else. So they've got one shot to get this right, and hopefully all four guys can knock it out of the park. We all know that it's not going to be a fair fight on Sunday. I think that would be boring. We know that John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin, they're going to be surprises for night 2, which is going to be great. So they're going to help Cody defeat Roman for sure. And then Roman will go away for a while. We shouldn't see Roman until probably SummerSlam. So that to me would be fine. But Monday Night Raw was okay for the most part. The Bloodline stuff is tremendous. Everything else on the show was okay. Drew McIntyre, him doing a eulogy for CM Punk's career was great. I love that. That was solid. So all in all, Raw was okay. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.